And today I don't have much housekeeping, but I just want to make sure that we respect when other people are speaking, and people might share things that just need to be retained here. That if that's the case, please say so, and so that we're not sharing other people's business if it's private, right? So I always like to just make sure we are all on one page when it comes to things like that. Right, let's get started. I want to make sure that you can see my screen. Can I just get a thumbs up? I can still see some of you. Good, good, good. Brilliant. So, sorry guys, let me just get a drink. Now, I've been talking about strategic partnerships for a little while now because it has been a lifesaver, an absolute lifesaver. And I want to show you guys how you can definitely increase the money you're making. Not saying that you have to be charging like, millions and all of that. It's how do I find the right people to partner with, the right organizations, the right companies, the right departments, so it's less of work. It also almost becomes a partnership. Almost, it can be 50-50, it could be 30-70. We can decide on all of those things. But what I want you to think as we go through the slides and as I open up the Q&A is what types of organizations would like what I offer? But rather than me sell my services to them, I'm going to sell partnership with them. And it's a quicker way for them to say yes. All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Right. So this is what we're going to do before we leave here. We're here for an hour and a half. And hopefully we'll stick within that time. But I want to make sure you get a clear understanding of who you can partner with. And what I've done on one of the slides, feel free to screenshot it, take a picture of it. I've kind of looked at the types of people who are coming in because I could see my team showed me the types of people who are coming in, and I've tried already to put together a list of companies that would partner with you if you're a business coach or who will partner with you if you're an AI expert. So I've tried to be intuitive and to do some of the work for you. But you might have other plans and you might think, no, Michelle, those types of people wouldn't work well with what I've got on offer right now. So we've got to be clear on that. Partnership ideas that make real commercial sense. There's four that I've put together, but there's much more, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So let's just stick to four. How to position yourself so established companies take you seriously. That's another credible reason to be here. And I'm going to show you ways you can do that. And a simple starting point you can act on this week. I'm going to give you something that you can do this week. It's Tuesday. By Friday, you can be having conversations. This is how quick it is because companies are so used to people saying, let me sell you this, let me sell you this. But we're not going to them with that. We're going to them with something different. How can we work together? How can we collaborate? How can we partner? That's the route that we're going to go through. So I know that there's a number of people here who don't know me, have not seen me before. So I just put this slide up so you know. I run a company called The People's Partner. I've been running that now for more than 10 years. I've been fully self-employed for 10 years, more than 10 years now. My background's in human resources, and I've been in HR for more than 25 years. I've actually fallen back into it. So I do fractional HR at the moment, and that's because I've partnered with a company and that's what they wanted. I had to go back to my old style of working, but it works. And now I'm getting paid doing fractional HR. So I'll tell you more about that. I'm also a guest lecturer. I've been doing a bit out here with some of the universities. I'm an international TEDx speaker. I sit on two boards at the moment, and I'm a trainer. All right, so that's a little bit about me and what I have been doing. So what I want to just make sure that we're all on the same page. That some of us have been struggling with social media. If that's you, just put a one in the chat. that every guru has told you to make sure you're visible on all these platforms, but you're just grinding away. Put a number one in the chat if that's you. Or you're chasing cold leads that go nowhere fast. So they do go somewhere, but they're not going fast enough for you. Or you're building everything from scratch, or you've got inconsistent revenue. So you're putting a lot of effort in. I mean, this is me. I'm definitely number four. I put a lot of effort in, and sometimes the growth is slow. I am not going to lie to you. It's been hard, guys. It's been a challenge. And especially with what's been happening out here in the region, business stopped. It absolutely stopped. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? I've got this property here. I've got my daughter here. How am I going to live? How am I going to survive? But because I had partnerships in place and I've created new partnerships out here, that has kept me afloat and I'm back. I'm back where I need to be. All right. So some of you can resonate with some of these on here. Some of you can resonate. So, but what if you had the opportunity to get in front of other people's audiences? Now, we do this already, guys, with other entrepreneurs. I know many of us here, we have got in front of other entrepreneurs, audiences, their clients, but I'm not talking about other entrepreneurs. I'm talking about now about companies. Can you imagine if you were to get in front of, I don't know, I'm just talking on the top of my head, Coca-Cola, and you wanted to get in front of some of their stakeholders, some of their clientele, some of their employees, and instead of you selling a service to them, you say, right, me, you, us two, me and Coca-Cola, let's work together on something. You just need to position what your offer is and show that it's got value, it's got depth, it's got gravitas. It's something that Coca-Cola would like to take on board, right? Because now they don't feel like you're selling to them. So that's how you have to, that's how we're positioning everything. So these are the three parts, right? It's you. It's you, Elizabeth. It's you, Michelle, Felix. It's so what I've got on my screen, and this is what this is for you, Michelle. I've got a picture of you. Well, it could be you, it could be me. Your skills, your service, your expertise, what you bring to the table. If you had to do an audit of all the things that you can do, I can guarantee you some of you in here are overqualified. You've got experience for decades. You have the qualifications, you have the experience, you have the competence. You've got it all. And sometimes you just need to group them up, all right? And then you've got the partner. So this now is the company, their audience, their reach, their trust. The trust element is so important because if they trust you to do work with them or for them, on behalf of them, they can then trust you with their stakeholders or other client groups that they have. All right. So the trust element is really, really important. And the last part of the slide is the share. So we want it to be a win-win situation. They win, we win. And I'm going to show you how that looks like in practice. So start thinking of companies who actually you think to yourself, I could offer something, I can extend their service. We can put together a masterclass or something together. All right. I want you to start thinking about that. So this is two partnerships that I've got. I've got another two actually, but I wanted to share an old one and a recent one for you. So Wedlake Bell are a law firm in the UK. They are a massive, when I say massive in terms of revenue generating, but they're not a massive law firm. I think there's probably, I don't know, about 25 partners, right? So it's not huge, not huge. Wedlake Bell, I bumped into them, I should say, or I met them at a mock tribunal. So in the UK, they have mock tribunals, and I met the law firm there, started talking, and I said to them, how many, how often do you get queries from companies or from people who want your expertise, but really and truly, it's more HR that they need and not really legal. It hasn't got to litigation as yet. He said to me, "Oh God, we get so many, we get so many." So I said, "Why don't I become your preferred partner? Because I do HR and I can support them when they're at that level. And when it gets to litigation, then I offer them to you. So you become my preferred partner, I become your preferred partner." Do you see what's different there? Instead of me saying, "Oh, let me work with you, let me do this for your clients," it was, I'm now coming to them at an equal level. So I'm not coming below them. I'm not trying to sell my service up to them. I'm saying I bring this to the table. I have years of experience doing what I'm doing. I understand HR. I understand HR law. I understand employee engagement. I understand, how businesses work, how people work. I understand discipline and grievances. I now sit as a chair for a number of organizations, chairing their grievance hearings, right? So he said, makes sense. He has referred me a number of clients. And out of the clients that he has referred, this particular person, Adam, I'm speaking about one of the partners, one of them I've had now as a 6 year retained client. 6 years. Because the trust, I built the trust with Wedlake Bell. He referred me to a number of clients. I did one-off work with some of them. Some of them now I've got retained work. And they trusted Wedlake Bell. Wedlake Bell trusted me. And now I'm a trusted HR business partner where I'm now doing the fractional HR for their clients. So can you see how the partnership works? Then it got me thinking, oh my God, I can do more of this. I can do more of this. So I put myself HR. Now, this is before we ever had ChatGPT or Claude. You had to think for yourself, right? And I was thinking, if I do HR, who has my clientele? That's what I was thinking. So the same system I used with Wedlake Bell, I then reached out to private medical insurances and pension companies, and I offered the same offer. I said, you must have a number of people that come to you that may need HR. You don't offer that HR. I offer that. I have a number of people that want to know about private medical insurance. I don't do that. So why don't we partner? And that's what we did. So I did this with Wedlake Bell. I did this with Chartwell Health. I did this with what they called is a BMI. So I did this with other organizations. And what all I have to do every year is remind them that I'm still there because sometimes they'll forget. If you haven't had any touch points throughout the year, they'll forget. But this is a really good way to partner. I don't have to do any marketing. I don't market my HR services very, very rarely. But that's what I've done. I just use them almost like referral partners. All right. So think about what companies, where do you sit in the in the um in the ecosystem of other businesses? Think about what you do. So this is something I've had now for probably 7 years, probably going on 7 years. I now have them as a retainer. I charge them every month whether I do work for them or not. And sometimes, because we're good people, we don't want to be taking people's money and not being able to serve them. So sometimes I might drop them a little email and to say, hi, just letting you know I'm still here if you need anything. The employment law changed in April. They changed in April. They changed in November. I collated all the details. I just sent them like an updated briefing, employment law briefing. They're like, oh, thank you, Michelle. I have to keep doing this because every month they're paying me, and I don't want them to say, we need to get rid of Michelle because we've not used her for 3, 4, 5 months. All right. So there could be just little things just to let them know that you're still thinking about them. Every December, I send them a hamper. I mean, that's the least I can do. They're paying me like 6 months of the year, and I do nothing for them 6 months of the year. All right. So it's easy money, guys. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's easy money. It's easy money. Once you get it right, once you get the system right, it's easy money. And this is what I talk more about and we work more about on my 6 week sprint. So let me tell you a recent one, Kwani. I think that's how you pronounce their names. Quinuni. Quinuni. Quinuni are a specialist recruitment company out here in the UAE. Now, I saw an ad pop up on my phone. An ad popped up on my phone, and I thought, okay, this looks good. And I thought, let me contact them, not because I want the recruitment, but I want to find out if there's any gaps in their processes. So when they emailed me and said, oh, Michelle, you saw that you took an interest in our Instagram ad. And I said, actually, I did take an interest, but not for what you think. I wanted to have a conversation with you to see if there's anything that's happening within the UAE that we can partner together, that we can both make more money together. How does that sound? Of course, it sounded good. He kept then contacted me and he said, let's jump on a Teams call. And then I used the first conversation to find out more about what's happening within the organization. So they hire in Emiratis to work for different companies here. There's a big drive from the government to get Emiratis into employment. It's called Emiratization. Now, their job is just to get the Emiratis in place. So I said, you're missing a trick. What if there is something there around you not only recruit, but you help retain? Because data is showing that Emiratis are only staying for a few weeks or a few months. Now, that's not looking good on you. It's not looking good on the company. All right, because they have to bring their stats to the government of how many Emiratis they're recruiting, how many Emiratis are staying. Now, with my background in human resources, my background in talent revolution, in entrepreneurship, and on retention, it's a marriage made in heaven. So I said to Quinuni, why don't we do this? You recruit and you offer an extended service to that company to say, not only can we recruit for you, but we can help retain your Emirati talent. And then that's where I come in. And I come in and I have a two-track system where I help support the managers in their capability to ensure they're doing the right thing in managing these new teams, and then I have a coaching stream to support the Emirati for them to get to see why this small job makes it look small to them, but it's part of a bigger process to their career maps, and that's what I do. It works. Now I know that it works. I'm now going to roll it out to other recruitment companies, but I don't want to be the one to always do the work. I'm now going to hire in other people and say, listen, let me teach you what I would do, and you go and do it. And then you get paid, and I take a percentage. This is how we grow, guys. And I'm still like a one-man band. I do have a small team. I have Janine, I have Toby, I have Kim, I have other people on my team, and I have a board. But I believe we can be small giants. And somebody bought me a book on this and said, Michelle, I see you as a small giant. And there's a book called Small Giants. We don't have to have thousands of employees. We should have an ecosystem that can hire in other people, that can give work to other people. I know there's people that do hit that in here now. We've got Yvette who's on the call. She does this as well, right? She'll get a contract and then she will farm it out to other consultants, other coaches, other trainers. And that's what we can be doing. So always think that part of your remit here on life is not just to put money in your own back pocket, it's also to put money in other people's pockets. Do you agree with me? Put a yes in the chat if you're of that ilk. That we are here to make money, not for just ourselves, but for other people. Put a yes in the chat. Let me know. Good. Good. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so let's share the four ways. So I'm just going to share what's on my screen. Four ways a partnership can work, and I'm going to share with you what they are. There's other ways, and they're very simple models, guys. Simple things that you can do straight away. The first one, I've called it joint webinars, but it doesn't have to be webinars. It could be a joint event. I just want it to be a joint something, right? I call it webinars. It could be a joint masterclass. It could be a joint roundtable. It could be a joint lunch and learn. But basically, you want to co-host with another brand, not another entrepreneur, not another solopreneur. not another startup, not somebody else who's struggling just as much as we are. I want you to co-host a workshop, a webinar, a masterclass with a company. So I did this with Wedlake Bell. I said to Wedlake Bell, and then I've done it with another law firm. I said, why don't we do an in-person morning roundtable? You bring in some people, I bring in some people. You can talk about why this is, about litigation or whatever lawyers speak about. I talk about what I do about HR. It's a partnership that works really well. If you do this, there's more people, there are more organizations are going to say yes, because it's probably something they've been thinking about, but didn't have the time, the inclination, the experience, the competence to do it. But you're coming to the table, so it's half the workload. Now, what they do, all you might ask them is if you provide the location, the venue, and the food, and you and your clients, I'll bring some of my clients and I'll do most of the work. That's it. That's what I did. And this is something you can do. I've done this with other HR companies. Some of you might know of Peninsula. They're a massive HR company, global company. I did the same with them. We put something on together in person in Oxford Circus. So think about what organizations that you can co-host anything, something with. All right? Start thinking of that. I'm going to give you time to um I'll give you time to think about this, but that's one of those. So, number two is service extension. So, this is what I offered to Kununi, a service extension. They were thinking, oh, this is not my remit. But when I gave them chapter and verse on how it can work and how they can put more monies in their pocket, so they get paid, I get paid, they get a percentage, and they're not doing anything. It makes commercial sense. That's your job, is to make commercial sense for anyone that you are speaking to about this, all right? So, what could that be? It could be extending an offer. It could be identifying a gap that they've not seen, because sometimes they don't see the gap. Guys, sometimes they don't see the gap. But if you've seen the gap, show them the gap and show them how you're the solution provider. All right. You can extend their service, or it could be a doubling down on an existing service that they have, and you're padding it out with your service. Once again, it can't cost them too much money, and they don't pay you. It's their clients that pay you. It's their stakeholders that pay you, because there's an extra service that they are getting. All right. Number three. So first of all, is this making sense for you? Put a one in the chat. Is this making sense? Can you see yourself doing this? Put a one in the chat. Brilliant. Let them more. I need to see more ones, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's so doable. It's really doable. Listen, I don't like hard work, guys. So I will only ever show you things that is a quick win. All right. I will only ever show you things that is a quick win. Right. So, hold on 2 secs for me, guys. Something's just come through. I just need to make sure I have that. Okay, brilliant. Okay, brilliant. Okay. So number three, affiliates and referrals. So we've spoken about that slightly, right? In terms of the referral. So with Wedlake Bell, with the other law firms, it's a referral of sorts. It's still a partnership, but we have a structured referral business agreement. I did this with Chartwell Health and with BMI. We put a contract together to say, this is, if you bring in this amount of people, you'll get X amount. So it's all written up nicely. Everybody knows where they stand, and there's no obligation. There's no obligation. You can put it as an obligation, but I didn't want to work with these companies like that. I wanted it to be quite fluid, and I wanted to make sure that if I was speaking to somebody and a company said, "Oh, I'm thinking of changing our occupational insurance," all I would say is, actually, I've got a company that I've worked with. I can really stand as testament. Just check them out. And all I'm there is to facilitate the discussion, and I'll leave them to it. That is it. All right. So think about a company that you will work well with an affiliate. Now, a lot of the big consultants and coaches in the world, like um, the Alex Hormozis of the world, they do a lot of strategic affiliates and referrals, and they make money all the time. And when I ran this same class before, I was talking about what's his name, Myron Golden, who does this. He's got referrals with his books, and his books has made him thousands upon thousands of pounds, and just by someone referring the book, or referring his program. So there's ways that we can make money and be in partnership like that. And number four is white labeling or licensing. Now, this is a game changer, guys. Think about your offer. There are people, and I'm going to tell you a company who does this right now. If they're doing it and they're making money, we can do it. They're called Video Tile. Video Tile. And there's others out there. There's Jaloush, there's others. Now, what they're doing, they are creating the training, and then they'll say to you, Michelle, if you've got people that you've got access to who need training on, I don't know, on accounting or something, and you don't have it, we have it. White label ours, and you can charge whatever you want for it. That's another way that you can do. Now, we can do this as well. I know that Elizabeth has offers here. I know Yvette has offers here. I know Jasmine has offers here. There's other people who do not have the time to create the training. They don't have time to create the training manual, the facilitator's guide. You can license it. That means they pay you a fee every year, and then you can give it to the organization. They can utilize it. You just need to make sure how many people is done through your platform. You just make sure that you've charged the right price for how many people is going to be able to access it. Or you can white label. You can say, I'm going to give it to you. You're going to pay me a one-off fee, and you can brand it as you like. It is yours. This is where you can make money, guys. You package your methodology and you partner with other companies and you sell it to them, or you can license it. Just look at these four ways, and I want you to put in the chat which one of these ways you think you could do. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. Let me have a look. 4 is in progress, and 2 and 3. I love that. Number 1, webinars and affiliates. Definitely, definitely. 2 and 3. I'm loving this. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What else have we got? We've got 2 and 3. Need to figure out a way to do 4. Cash. Okay, we can definitely talk about that. Yeah. And this is, guys, effectively, we're leaving money on the table if we're not trying to do one of these things. All of us work in the B2C space, but there is room at the table of the B2B industry. There's room on the table, at the table, with the table, right? And I don't want us to miss out. And this is how we position ourselves as credible transformational agents, as change agents, as service business owners, when we come to them with a partnership offer like this. They're going to want to listen. So I want to give you some time now to think about who is your ideal client. You must know this already. We're not gonna with this basic stuff. And I want you to just either you can write it on your own notes, you can put it in the chat, whatever. Think about that. And what else are they buying? Who else are they buying from? Because that's who you want to partner with. Who else are they buying from? Yeah. What else do they buy? Which companies, communities, or organizations are already serving them? Think about that. Think about that. As you're thinking and writing, I'll give you an example of something that happened just today. I went to an art gallery. I thought I need to expand my culture, expand my horizons, expand my network. And I went today and I was speaking to a number of people. And one particular guy, he works for family offices, and we were speaking. And he was saying he works for the family offices and he's got lots of people who work in the oil and gas industry. Now my ears are really perking up, right? And I said, okay, so what types of events are happening and whatever. And he said, you know what, why don't you come with me to the next one and let's see what we can do. And that this person is not my ideal client, but he has access to my ideal client. So I even said to him, there's all these events we can go to, but wouldn't it be great if we were to put on an event at probably somewhere like here, because they're offering hotels, the venues at the moment dirt cheap because of, there's just not enough people taking it up. And I said, we can put something on. And he was like, my God, Michelle, this sounds like a really great idea. I can invite some people from the oil and gas. You can invite some more people. I said, let's do that. This is us getting in front of people that have our audience. And sometimes it's just someone you're talking to. It can be as small as that. It doesn't even take a big strategy. So let me see in the chat what you're sharing. Please, if you've got anything, share. Yes, you want to get into Amazon. So I got into Amazon, as you know, and I got into Amazon by offering. This is where your three eyes. So I'm just going to share this for everybody. In in my teachings, I talk about the three eyes: the insiders, God, what are they? The insiders, the influencers, and the impacted. And that's how I got into Amazon because I do the same work that I teach you guys. I do it myself. And I listed how many people I knew either worked in Amazon, used to work in Amazon, all of that. And I listed, and I probably got about three or four people. And then I realized there was somebody who was very close to me that worked in Amazon. She doesn't work in Amazon now. She now works in Google. And I just reached out to her and I said, wouldn't it be really interesting if I came in and I did a lunch and learn to show some of your staff how to negotiate to get a pay rise? And at first she was like, pay rise? We don't want to be paying them more money. And I said, yes, but we want to give them the skills of negotiating. But pay rise will be one. But there's other things they can negotiate on, which they can use in their professional life and their personal life. And she said, "Oh, okay, let's do this." And she did it with a team of an accountants. So some of the accounting departments. We started with Amazon AMS, and then we went on to because Amazon's massive, right? And that's how we did it. I got in to do a lunch and learn, and I did that lunch and learn. A year later, it was actually a year later, or probably just under a year, they called me back in and said, we loved we heard about your lunch and learn last year. We want you to do this, and we'll pay you for it. So I did it again with another department. And then after that, they commissioned me to do monthly, and I did it online the next lot. So I did it from the comfort of my own home. They paid me for a whole year to do monthly webinars. I did it once a month on different aspects of negotiation, of how to get a sponsor in organizations, how to get mentors. Yeah, that's how I do it. So leverage your network, guys. Leverage your network because there's people that you totally forgot about. And that's where the three eyes think of people who are influencers in your network, people who are insiders within your networks, and people who are impacted, the people that need the end users. Okay, so let me see if you guys have put anything in the chat. I teach them how to be visible and become valuable. They buy courses to get credits, hoping that more clients don't get my da da da. Mm. So Elizabeth, who are stuck in their careers. So it's women who are stuck in their careers. So now let's look at female middle managers who are stuck in their careers, or female mid-level accountants who are stuck in their careers. Same thing, still women, but now we're transitioning it to companies. So you might know one or two people that have been on your programs, who are on your courses, who are still employed. Utilize them. Because if you have worked with anybody and they are employed, because not everybody is self-employed, much to people's disbelief, but some people are still employed and there's nothing wrong with it. And it's a bonus if they are for you, because that's another way in. You now say to them, let's work together to pitch this idea to your company. And because they are already tasted and see that you are great, we can use them as a business case. So if you have worked with, if you've coached, consulted, advised anyone who is an employee and they have a side hustle as well, utilize them to get into their company. Or they might know other people from other companies. So that's another way in to utilize your existing clientele who are employees. They could be mid managers, they could be accountants, they could be in sales, they could be in procurement, in distribution. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what level or rank they are either. And please, one other thing is, I always say this, follow the person and not the position, because they may have been an admin today, tomorrow, next week, next month, they're going to be the managers, and they're going to remember you how they you treated them when they were admin, and now they're managers and they're hiring people like us. I treat everybody equally because I know that people can progress in roles. They move. The same one who's in Amazon, she's now in Google. And you know what I did for her? She was looking for a board role. This is like many years ago. I sat on a board. I was leaving and I pitched for her and she took my place in as a non-executive director of a charity. And yeah, and so now she's like, Michelle, what do you want? How can I help you? And I'm thinking, I'm coming to you. I'm going to prepare something for Google. I'm coming to you. All right. So really treat people with respect at whatever position they're in. Okay, let me move on. Let me move on. So, how to identify the right partner? There needs to be an audience match. Yeah, and I'm going to share a screen with you. Michelle, I will send you that separately of different companies or different niches you can partner with. So there needs to be an audience match. So you've got the same ideal client, but you have different solutions. That is it. So they are not your competitor. You are complementary to what's being given. There needs to be a value exchange. They need to see the value of bringing you in. They need to see the value of partnering with you. So you pitch yourself at an equitable level. You're not in the begging. We're not begging. We're not pleading. We're saying, this is what I bring to the table. And I think you're going to benefit from this much more than probably I am if we work together on this. And so, and people like when you come to them with an offer. They like it when you're on the call. You don't have time to strategize and brainstorm on a call. When you're on the call, you're bringing something to the table. So there must be a value exchange where you're adding real value to what they have. Okay. And the last area is it's got to be an easy yes. Yeah, the partnership's going to make their service look better. It's going to make them look great. So why should I not? When I spoke to Quinuni about this, he said I need to speak to the owner, and I said, what do we need to put together so that the owner says yes? And he goes, Michelle, I know exactly. This is something we were looking for, and you just hit the nail right on its head. But I still did a proposal. And if you, for those who want to work with me further, I'm going to give you the proposal deck. He said it was mind blowing. He said it's exactly what we wanted. And I've used it time and time again. So, how to position yourself so they take you seriously? This is what I don't want you to do. I want to grow my audience. This is what you say to other entrepreneurs. Every entrepreneur is trying to grow an audience. The key thing when you're working with corporates, you don't need to grow an audience. They don't care about your audience. They care about their audience. Their audience is their clientele. their employees, their stakeholders. That's who they care about. They don't care whether you have 500 on Instagram, 1,000, 2,000 on LinkedIn. They don't care. All right. So you're not trying to grow your audience, although you want to grow your audience to sell to them, but you don't tell them that. This is what I can do for your clients. This is what I can do for your stakeholders. This is what I can do for your investors. Can we collaborate on something? That's what we don't say. We don't say, can we collaborate? You say, I've noticed a gap that your clients are currently facing, and I know a way that you can solve that problem or fill that gap with my service, with my offer. That's how you're going to position it. All right. I'm looking for my exposure. We are not doing this for likes. We are not doing it for vanity metrics. We are credible solution providers, and we're going to extend the value of their service. We're going to extend their offer. All right. So once again, it's positioning. We are positioning ourselves that we are at the same level. Then we wouldn't be saying, I have a great offer for your clients. What we're saying is, I have a simple idea. Tell me what you think. You got to invite them on a call, invite them onto Zoom, invite them onto Teams to explain. And it's got to be simple, guys. Because one thing about corporates, companies, SMEs, they do not have time to work out what you're telling them. Whereas in the entrepreneurial space, the more cleverer the language, the more verbose the language makes people think that you're clever. In corporate land, simple, stupid. Today, when I was at the arts gallery, I just thought, I'm not going to tell them that I'm an entrepreneurship advocate. I just kept it simple. Someone asked me what you do. I said, oh, I deliver leadership training and capability awareness for leaders in the oil and gas. Then she said, God, that's very specific. I said, yes, it is. Do you know anyone in the oil and gas? And she said, well, now you've told me, I can think about five, six people who work in the oil and gas industry. Would you like me to introduce you? Yes, please. Do you see? Now, if I said, oh, I'm a leadership strategist, this is on my LinkedIn, right? Leadership strategist, HR futurist, author, speaker, trainer, they're like, it's too much information, guys. So know who you're speaking to when you need to be verbose and need to be colorful with your job titles. But when you're when I met up with my guy from Amex last week, he's the head of EMEA for American Express out here. One of the other guys came to meet us for lunch and he said, oh, this is Michelle. She does leadership training for the oil and gas and for financial services. Simple. He could dictate what I do to someone just like that. It makes it easier. So your positioning has to be easy for them to grab. So guys, take a picture of this. I wasn't able to do everybody's expertise, but you might fall into some of them. If you don't, please put what you do in the chat and let's see. All right. So if you're an IT expert, you should be partnering with accountancy firms. We've got accountancy firms in here in this. We've got accounts navigator in here now. There's other accounting companies. When it works for one, it will work for another. All you need to do is prove your MVP, your minimum viable product. And that's what I did with Quinuni. I established that partnership with one recruitment company. I've now said to Kim, find me hundreds of other recruitment companies. And we'll roll out the same system. I don't have to deliver. I can get someone else to deliver. And then you take a percentage and they get paid. All right, because you're going to have your methodology, you'll have your strategy, the way you deliver. We put that all together. And so you can get other people to deliver. So, guys, looking at what you can see on your screen, tell me in the chat, what are you seeing? Do you see like companies or industries or niches that you could realistically partner with? And make sure you do a screenshot. For Michelle, I will give you this, so don't worry. But on my slide, I've got health coach, IT expert, leadership coach, AI expert, business coach, and sales trainer. And then what I've done is just listed types of companies that could you could partner with because of what you offer. All right. Okay, so let's have a look at the chat. Remote personal assistant company. So you do Carly. Good of you to be here, my darling. So, oh God, that's good, right? So you could actually, because you're personal assistant, you do a range of administration and higher level tasks. You could partner with actually any company, right? But we need to see what the offer would be. You need to think, okay, there might be a specific thing that you do that will work really well for IT companies, or something specific that you offer that you do that's going to work really well for a gym or wellness company. So think about what that is, and you use that offer not to sell your service, but to partner up with the gym. So let's say the wellness, like a wellness studio. They're going to want access. Let's say if it's a female wellness studio, because there are, they're going to want access to working women, non-working women. You have access to those women. So you could put together an event and say, um, I will talk about using my facilities, my company to do your personal assistant, remote working, and we can also support you in your health and well-being. And that's where the wellness bit comes into. And it's a joint venture, it's a joint meeting, a joint lunch and learn it could be. So something like that could work really well. Good, good, good. I like to see that. I have thought about executive search. That's Jay. Yeah, executive searches will be really good for you. Really, really good. Really good. Awesome. All right. So have you done a screenshot of this guy so I can move on to the next bit? Yes, brilliant. Awesome. Awesome. So let's look at now building your partnership pitch, right? Because there's a way that you have to come, that you approach this. So now you're thinking about who is your top partnership target. For me, I'm always now going to be reaching out for recruitment companies. I can still reach out to law companies. I can reach out to um, private medical insurance. That leans into my HR. My leadership work will lend itself to the recruitment companies. All right. Now, what would you offer them and what do they get in return? Have a think about that. What could you offer them and what would they get? Because that's all they're interested in. What is the value to me? What's in it for them? That's all they're thinking about. So think about, and you may not have the time to think about this all now, but if we work together, I am going to speak with each of you and we're going to create what that could be, create what that is. And because I have access to corporate opportunities, it's some of them you could pitch to as well. So have a think about what do you have in your arsenal? You know, what do you have in your back pocket that will be really good for an accountancy firm or be really good for a building firm or a property company? Yeah. If you're good at sales, that might be really good. You could partner with property companies and you can say, let me run a series of sales masterclasses for your leasing department or for your sales department. It makes sense. It makes sense. And how would you frame it from their perspective? So now always look at it from their perspective to make it a win-win for them. And then, and so here is basically, if we had more time, I would get you to, work in groups together, but we don't have the time. So I want you to share in the chat for me just a couple of companies that would work well that you could partner with. Think about a couple of companies. And remember, what I'm showing you today is just one part of getting corporate clients is strategic partnership, but there's so many other ways. I'm just showing you this way. I'm just showing you this way. So have a think about that. So I want to now show you how you pitch to them. All right. And this is another thing that we talk about in the sprint. So this is something that I use myself. I work with, and you put the client type, who often struggle with and what the problem is. I think there's a natural overlap with what you're doing or with what you do and what I'm doing. And I'd love to explore whether there is some commonality. I would love to explore whether there is a collaboration possibly there. And I want to see how we can benefit both our clients. Would you be open for a 20-minute conversation? As simple as that. As simple as that. It's not the hard sell. Can you see it's quite light touch? It's quite a hands-off approach, but it works really well. It doesn't put them in the flight or fright mode. It's like, actually, there could be something there. What is 20 minutes? This 20 minutes could be a game changer. It could be 20 minutes of my time wasted. Yeah. But they're not going to know that until you make the offer. Until you make the offer. And the audience, so you can think about what will their clients get from it. You can talk about what they get from it or what their clients get from it, what their stakeholders get from it, what their investors get from it. Because at the end of the day, they are selling a service and you want to make them look good in front of their clientele. That's how the partnership model works. It could be a referral, which is a straight, I know somebody who'd be good for you. Let me give you that to them and I take a percentage. It could be simple as that. Or you can create something together. Or you might say, actually, I have a piece of training that works really well when it comes to induction. You can have it. I'll walk you through it so you can see, and I can update it every year with whatever changes in the world. If there's geopolitical changes that's going to impact and affect this, I will make the changes free of charge because you're going to pay a fee, a license fee, and that means I have to make sure it's up to date every year, every month, whatever it is. So that's how you can be specific of what the offer is. Is it a webinar? Is it a training tool? Is it a series of training that's on a platform that middle managers might need to upskill them to senior management? Or the jump from senior management to director is massive. There's lots of skills gaps between that. And you might put together a series of training that once they're at that level, for them to go to the senior level, they have to make sure that they've done that. You can even CPD your courses so that it gives an extra level of gravitas and credibility. And like I said, it's not a pitch deck, it's not a proposal, it's just, are you open for a conversation? And then once you're in that conversation, then you can put the pitch proposal together. So getting the first conversation. LinkedIn, industry events, mutual contacts, communities and associations, your existing network. This is it. I don't want you to overload yourself by doing heaps and heaps of research. There are people in your LinkedIn who are waiting for a partnership that they didn't know they needed because you haven't pitched to them. You have not offered to work with them as a partner, as a collaborator. There are people that you have seen at industry events. There's a number of events happening in the UK. There's a number of events happening in Dubai, in the USA. And you want to pitch yourself as a partner, as a collaborator, a joint venture of sorts. Mutual contacts. There's communities, there's associations, your existing network. There are people in your network. There are people in your WhatsApp that you've overlooked because you see them one-dimensional. But if you took the time to actually see what else they're involved in, I mean, people could look at me one dimension and think, oh, she only does HR. Not forgetting that I do a lot of work around leadership, not forgetting that I sit on a board of one of the biggest banks in the UK, forgetting that I have access to corporates in the US, in the UAE, and the UK, because I'm seen as one dimensional. So think about your networks. Take three or four people and think, oh God, they do this as well, and they do this, and they do that. And this is the context, the value, and the ask. All right, good. Does this make sense, guys? Let me know if this makes sense. Put a yes or one. It makes sense, Michelle. You're not talking rubbish. Let me know. Share in the chat for me. And then I want to open for questions. If you've got any questions, put them in the chat and we will try and address as many as we can towards the end. And I probably might be answering your questions as we go along. So, too many of us, and this is a conclusion, and this is where I want to share with you the 6 week sprint. Because so many of us, and I've been there, are chasing the next client. We're riding the wave when it's good. Or sometimes we're panicking when the pipeline runs dry. That's me. I've been there. I was there about a month ago. I'm being very honest with you. But then I remembered that I've got retained contracts. I've got people on a retainer. I have people that white label my work. And all I had to do is go back to them and remind them. And the thing is, when you have retained clients and they pay you, if you do an extra project with them, they pay you for that as a separate entity. That's what's happening with me right now. I'm in the middle of chairing a grievance hearing with a client who's on a retainer. Their retained money, their retained cost is not paying for this extra contract. But because they know, like, and trust me for how many years, now I can do this extra piece of work. And what happened, I just reached out to them and I said, just a reminder that I'm here. If anything is happening within the organization, you need my advice, you need my consultation, you need my support. Remember, I am here. The following week, they said, oh, Michelle, this has come up. This has come up. We need you to chair the grievance. We need you to do the investigation. I slapped a fee on that and I said, you can pay at the end of the month. Oh, no problem. We'll pay you on Wednesday. I pitched it on Monday. I got paid on Wednesday. And so when people say it takes 30, 60, 90 days, that's not always the case. It is the case sometimes, but not always the case. So that's why I want to show you some of the easier ways to work with companies, corporates, and SMEs. So I want to show you a repeatable system that's going to help you. All right. I want to show you that. It's the Get Corporate 6 week sprint. Put sprint in the chat for me. Put sprint in the chat. Put sprint in the chat for me, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Because we're going to be sprinting so that I can get your questions. So this 6 week sprint is for transformational specialist. If you see yourself as a transformational specialist, this is going to help you become a strategic corporate partner. If you see yourself as an expert-based business owner, you sell your expertise, the sprint's going to help you be corporate ready and commercially credible. That's what it's going to do. If you see yourself as a change agent, that you change people's mindset, you change the way they think, you change the way they behave, it's going to help you become an expert that organizations trust. Or if you're a product-based business, that means you sell products. It could be creams, it could be lip glosses, it could be whatever, I can help you become a recognized corporate solution provider. I've had somebody who did, she did these like creams. And she was saying, but Michelle, what you do doesn't help me. And I said, okay, let's work together and I'll prove it. If I can't prove it, I'll give you all of your money back. That's what we did. That was my guarantee. And the guarantee worked. I didn't have to give her money back because I put her in front of three hotels that had spas. So she could sell the cream to the spas. She can sell them to the hotels. And so now she's used that same system and now she's selling in different spas and different massage parlors. All right. So don't think of it one dimensional. This is why I need you to think wider. I need you to think bigger because there are most of these um companies, even Janine's on the call, her client does water. She has a brand of water. And now the brand of water is in almost every hotel. And she's a one-man band. And the water is called Blue. B-L-E. Is it called B-L-E-U? I think it is.
Belu, Baloo.
Blue. And she's a one-man band. But I have been into hotels. I've opened up the the fridge and I've seen her waters in the fridge. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, in the 6 weeks is a complete system. We'll look at your presence and positioning, how you're pursuing your corporate mastery. We'll support you on that. I'm going to get you, you're going to do some selling because we're going to sell to these companies. And they don't have to be big companies. And actually, we'll start with small, medium companies anyway. And I have a list of companies that you're going to target already, right? Some that I know are looking, and you can bring your own to the table as well. We're going to multiply your reach. This is where we're going to get the strategic alliance. This is where the partnerships. So it's today's topic. We're going to delve into that more so that you are going to build in partnerships. We're going to pitch, propose, and close. You are going to be able to close on a call. And I've got like VIPs, a couple of VIPs on there. And like I said to them, if you're going into a pitch and you need my support, I'll be in the call with you. You do the talking, but if you need that extra hand, that's what we do. And we're going to secure, grow, and you're going to own your product. You're going to own your methodology. You're going to go from contract to client, from contact to contract. All right. So that's what we'll be covering in the 6 weeks. So it's once a week. And then in between the weeks, there's other things that's going to be happening. All right. And where I'm going to bring in some guest speakers. I've already got Unilever coming on board, so you can find out from them, how do I get to do some work with you? How do I partner with you? What gaps do you have? These are the conversations you need to be having, all right? Because the cost of not having a system is zero, but the cost of not having a system is every contract you didn't win. Every time you're thinking, oh, let me leave that, I'm not ready. You're leaving money on the table, and there's somebody who's less qualified, less experienced, doesn't have half of the knowledge that you have. They're going out and doing it. I've seen it time and time again, and it's excruciating. I have been sitting thinking, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to send this email out. I don't do it. I then find out that somebody else who's less qualified, less experienced, doesn't have my years of knowledge, doesn't have my years of experience. They're doing it and they've got the contract. So this is what you're going to get. 6 live weekly sessions with me and my team. We'll do this together. You're not going to be left by yourself. We'll do them together. All right. And for this, the value of that is 3.5K. 6 week, and it's actually longer than 6 weeks because I know that some people might be away for holidays. So that's fine. If you're away, whatever you are promised, you will get. You will get an acquisition playbook, and this is going to be custom built for you. So this is why we're going to ask you certain questions at the beginning so I know exactly what needs to be in your playbook. You use it, you print it off, you write in it, it's got the systems in there, everything's in there for you, right? And the value of that is 1.5K. You'll also get real world deal simulation, which means you are going to be doing selling with me. We're going to do this real time. You have implementation. We'll have live pitching and negotiation. I'm actually going to find out if I can get some of my corporate clients, the good ones who are always on hand. If I have to pay them, I have to pay them. That's fine or whatever. But I want you to pitch to them so they can hear it themselves, right? So I'm going to see what I can arrange with that. Um, Expert guest sessions, we've already got people booked on for that. I would love for you to meet them and see them. There's no price for that. It's priceless. For me to be able to get these people in the room with you is priceless. Also, you're going to have live corporate opportunities. So I've got a live link. So I have a number of researchers out scouring the world in other people's companies, understanding what opportunities are available. They bring them to me. They'll give me the company. They give me what they're looking for and how much they're paying, the name of the people, the email, and I give it to you. All right. And what I've had these corporate opportunities before, and some people have not used them. I'm not naming any names. And I thought this is a missed opportunity because you don't even have to do the work. I've done the work for you. So what we will do when we see some of the live corporate opportunities, let's just do them together. So I make sure that you can pitch for them. All right. Because once again, it's priceless. We'll have hot seat coaching. I love that. Bring your problems, bring your proposals, your roadblocks. Allow me to coach you through it. We'll do some coaching and I'll also give you the answers so you just know what to do as well. All right. You'll have access to the corporate vault with everything in there. You can access that when and if you need. And some of these things you don't need to do straight away. You can do them over the 6 weeks. We'll space it out so you have time, all right, to access everything. You'll have that cohort of community just for this. When it's finished and disbanded, you go your separate ways. You do your thing. Everything you learn with me is lifelong skills. So let's say you learn everything and you get an corporate opportunity next year, this year. You don't give me anything. I'm not asking for anything. You don't need to give me a percentage. Whatever you get is yours. All right. And there's a 30-day post sprint support. All right. And I want to give you that because I know to keep the momentum up, I just need to keep in contact with you guys. My team will keep in contact to make sure you're following up. So nothing is left. So my question to you, put in the chat, how much is the 6 week sprint? Put in the chat for me, guys. How much is it, please? Or how much do you think it is? Or how much do you want to pay for it? And don't be putting silly numbers, guys. How much do you think the sprint is? Awesome, awesome. Thank you for that, Adrian. That's really brilliant. I'll share that. Put some numbers in the chat, guys, so that we can do Q&As. Okay.
2,500.
Okay, nice. Andrew, 1K. Andrew, you think all of that for 1K? Please. I would love to be able to do all of that for 1K. I don't even get out of my bed for less than 2K. 5K, someone from Samsung or the Samsung user. Okay. A BK, 1K? I don't think so. I'm going to tell you that one. I don't think so at all. K, 99. Come on, guys. Think about it. You're going to get the corporate opportunities. You're going to get access to guest speakers, bid writers for anyone who wants to go for big contracts. What else? You're gonna get the corporate vault with everything. You guys have access to me. My one-to-one sessions are 2,500 for half day. And I have people who have paid it, and I have had people who have had results on it. So just to put it in perspective for you. All right, let me get you out of your misery, right? Let me get you out of your misery. It's 2.5K. It's 2.5K. All right. So I think one person got it, and that one person got it. You definitely need to join. It's 2.5K for all of that, for the 6 weeks and the post work, access to the corporate opportunities as well that we will walk through, we'll go through. And by the time you leave the 6 weeks, you will have your repeatable system. Not only will you have your repeatable system, you will now be engaging conversations with companies. That is a done deal because you won't not be able to do it because that's a guarantee. You will have to be having meetings, conversations, whether the deal is done within the 6 weeks, depending if you've already had a relationship with them already, then that can happen. But you've got to be having the conversations. And that's why I'm going to have the post support so that I can support you if you're going to have a meeting. I'll let you know what to say in the meeting. If you want me to come in the meeting with you, that's what we do. All right. It's 2.5K. Put a 1 in the chat if you would like to join me. Put a 1 in the chat if you would like to join me. Because if you'd like to join me, I'm going to make you happy. I'm going to do something for you. If you want to join. Do we have any ones in the chat, Janine?
Oh yeah, we've got quite a few ones in there.
Okay.
Some said it's excellent value. We've got one, two,
And
three,
remember,
four,
guys,
five
we're all
ones
in
so far.
business. Put it through your business expense. This is a business expense. All right. And the accountant is here, so she will tell you. And so you get, if you, I don't know, if you're VAT registered, um the VAT's already included, so you can claim the VAT of, all whatever accountants do. All right. So make it a taxable expense. That's what I'm trying to say. We're in business, it's a taxable expense. So early bird, I'm running an early bird. And the early bird is 1997. So you're going to save yourself $503. And I'm doing it in dollars as well. I'm doing them in dollars as well. So I'm even saving you more money. So it's not 1997 thousand pounds. It's in dollars. All right. So, but it closes on Friday the 15th. I've already got my email sequence. I've got one reminder. I'm not going to be overly reminding because I prefer the 2,500 for the work that it's going to take. But I want to give an early bird offer. All right. So that's the offer. Janine, can you put the link in the chat for me, please, for the sprint? And there's a bit of pre-work we're going to do beforehand, only because I just need to know what everyone's doing and just to prepare you for the sprint. And I need an idea of numbers nearer the time so that when I'm speaking to these other people, they know how many people they're going to be speaking to. All right. So the question is not can I afford this? The question is what does it cost me to stay exactly where I am? Let me show you the numbers, guys. Let me show you the numbers. If working with me, you get a 10K contract, which is so doable. This is just 10K, and you use the skills to get more and more. Your profit on your 1997 is 400%. That's your return on investment with your 1997. Now let's even come down. If it was 5K, you got a 5K contract. Your return on investment is 150. And remember, it's skills you can use and you can pick up and use whenever you want. You've got the skills. I'm going to give you the templates. I'm going to give you the system so you can use it whenever. All right. You can use it whenever. If you never speak to me again and you start making money and became rich and famous, that's all yours. All right. And I do have, if anyone needs a payment plan, I've got a payment plan. When you go onto the website, you'll see that there as well. But anyone who pays in full, I'm going to always reward in full. Okay. And what I'm showing you here is what you do with companies. I say to companies like the company, I said, oh, if you pay at the end of the month, and they said, no, don't worry, I'll pay on Wednesday. Some people, depending on how big the contract is, they might need to stagger it. And I always offer, like, if you pay this in full, I can bring the costs down or I can give something more to your employees. This is the same thing, all right? And in business, you do that. So if you pay in full, you get a session with a senior FTSE 100 corporate manager, and you're going to map your goals, your risk, and your corporate acquisition strategy with them. That's if you pay in full. But if you don't pay in full and you pay payment plan, it's still good. It's still fine. You're just not going to get this. All right? Does that make sense, guys? A number two in the chat, if that makes sense. If that makes sense to you. All right. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Right. I want to open for questions. Um, okay. Yeah, sorry. I forgot this. So these are
Somebody
just
says, when does
testimonials.
it start?
10th of June. So if you click on the link in the chat, you'll see it starts the 10th of June, and I'm keeping it small because obviously I have to give one-to-one attention as well. So I'm keeping it very small. And I'll have a couple of people who I've had somebody who's already joined before I've even done this as well. All right. So it's capped at 10, by the way. So this is just like some testimonials of other people who have done uh, a similar sprint with this, and they had like double five figures. I've had somebody, and one of these testimonials is somebody who didn't even pay me a dime, and they got two five-figure contracts. So they didn't pay me a dime, but they took action. That's what they did. They took action. So, guys, I'm going to stop now. I don't know why they're spinning. This is what my team is making my thing spin. I want to open up for questions. All right. I want to ask me questions, any questions about getting corporate contracts, about the sprint. I really want you to join the sprint. I am not going to be supporting people on this who do not join the sprint because I want to give my time, my energy, my resources to anyone that joins the sprint. Okay. And you'll have access to me, you'll have access to my team, and I'll obviously give you access to the corporate guys that will join us as well. All right, let's stop sharing and let's open for questions. Are there any questions in the chat? Um, any questions, guys? Let me know.
Not at the moment.
Good, good, good. So has it all under everyone understand everything then? I love that. I've got Elizabeth. Feel free to unmute and let's hear.
Ah, there we go. For some reason, the mouse wasn't working. Michelle, I have the is it going to work for me question.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if it's possible to have a solo conversation with you
Mhm.
to see if, if it would make sense.
Yeah, yeah. And if it doesn't, I'll tell you it won't. Because I don't want to take on anyone that I know I personally can't help. Because it's my brand, it's my reputation, right? So I will
Mhm.
definitely have a conversation with you about that, and we can book something in for tomorrow, for sure.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Good. Any other questions? Anything just in general about what you're working on in terms of questions? That was my question two. Could this work for someone like me? So, Gemma, you're already working with companies. So why do you think it wouldn't work? Come off mute. You can feel free to come. I know you're working. You're at least positioning yourself ready to work with
I
a
think,
large establishment.
yeah, exactly. I think it would work for someone like me. First of all, I'm just not sure how it would work for someone like me. I know that sounds a bit crazy, and because of what I'm going to be doing, as you
Mhm,
know, I want to do.
mhm.
Um, that's why I think that it would be a really, really good opportunity. And after the testimony about the waters, Janine with the water, that's just
Mhm. Yeah.
amazing.
And that's what,
Um,
and you have a product. So just to put, I'm not going to share too much, but Gemma um, is a chef baker. She does beautiful artisan cakes, right? And so we've spoken in the past about her positioning, how she can like partner with bigger brands who have a big market, they have a market share to offer her cakes. And there is definitely a space. So what we would do, and we would look at other companies or other smaller entrepreneurs who have done this successfully. Because if it's been done before, we know it can be done again. That's always the test. Even if it hasn't done before, if we know there are people that we can have meetings with, position your brand with, and you have the conversation, then it's just the world's your oyster, right? It's the same thing. When you think about even oh God, I know I'm thinking I might be thinking too big, but I'm even thinking of
You can't never think too big.
never too big. But do you know what I've just started thinking about? Even look at MasterChef and all of those programs, right? Why don't you even reach out to MasterChef and to say, you could like offer what I'm thinking, I don't know if they've ever done this before, but you can say, I want to be able to offer my cakes as, a thank you to all your winners. You can trial it out. If they like it, you can say, we can trial it out and say you give a batch of 6 or 8 or whatever. And if they like it and it works well, why don't we have a system in place? Like, why don't we partner that everyone that wins, they get a bespoke MasterChef cake and I make it. I'm just thinking, I can think really big sometimes, yeah, and it might be a crazy thought, but who doesn't want to play crazy? And the worst they can say is no.
I agree.
You've lost nothing. And the best they can say is, let me think about it. And that's all you need to hear. That's all you need to hear.
I agree.
All right. Good, 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 good. Any other questions? Anything else? Anyone wants to share anything? Or how did you find today? At least tell me, how was today's session? Did you get something from it? If there's something that you can do yourself and take away, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Good to see Nicole, Charmaine, Serena, Andrew. Good to see you guys. Please let me know how today's session went in the chat for you. And good to have Adrian here. Adrian is my partner in crime. He is the guru when it comes to bid work, procurement. He is the buyer. So it will really be good. Adrian, just before we go, if you just unmute and just quickly say hello so they know who you are.
Hey, hello everybody. How you doing? Hello, Michelle. Good to see everybody. Fantastic. Congrats to everybody that's joining this. You're going to have an excellent time. As Michelle said, I'm on hand to support as well. So if you're ever selling to a procurement team or doing bids or proposals, especially for those that want to do something large, that's my speciality. As Michelle says, I'm the buyer. I'm an actual corporate buyer. Been doing this for 26 years. So I've bought, you name it, I've bought it. And if you want to know how to get across the line, you come and talk to us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So guys, listen, you know where I am. As I said, Janine, if you could put the link back in the chat. So the early bird, take full advantage of the early bird, just take full advantage of the early bird. It just makes sense, right? And let's work together on getting you that corporate contracts. I'm really, really, really excited, really, really excited about this. I've done this once before, a smaller sprint, and the results were really good. And like, some people just wanted speaking engagement, like paid speaking engagement. One got a 10K. And she got her first 10K speaking engagement before I ever got my first 10K speaking engagement. So that's a testament, right? When the teacher teaching so well, and that's it. It's having something that people can buy. It's all about positioning. So I'm looking forward to working with some of you. And yeah, we've got until Friday, and then it's going to be the standard price. Still a good deal at 2,500. Still a good deal, but I want to always reward early birds. But reach out to me if you have to, and we can have a conversation. But for now, guys, thank you so much for joining. It's been a pleasure serving and teaching and training as always. And I'm looking forward to working with some of you from the 10th of June. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Much love to you all. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Take care, guys.